Good morning, John Augustine, back again. Pat, this is the year 2008 in Ireland. Pat Kenny, the broadcaster, worked in RTA for years. There was some big salaries, touching $1 million there at one stage. And he lived in Dalkey and had a nice bit of ground, detached house, which would be expensive enough in that neck of the woods. It's one of the most expensive in the country, if not the world, for property. And there was a place beside him called Gorse Hill, probably another of an acre. And he claimed squatters' rights because he had been using it for something or another. And there was a court case because the people that owned that site were solicitors. So they denied that and they won that case. But in negotiations, Pat Kenny agreed a sum to purchase the site according to this here. I don't actually remember that business. He lost the case, and as far as I know, he lost the land, but it says he paid an undisclosed sum. He had to pay compensation to those. But whether he was able to buy the Gorse Hill, it more or less says here that he did. But we'll take it that it's correct. So that's the last event that I have for 2008. Now we come to art and literature. All the sort of stuff that people sort of think that is great. I prefer the Bible myself, but whatever. In January must have been quiet because there's nothing about January. The 28th of February, the last day in February, unless there was a leap year, and then it'd be the 29th. Yes. Desmond Mongan. Dermot Morgan. Oh, yes. He was very well known, Dermot Morgan. He was a comedian. And he was very good. He was a comedian, and he was in this Father Ted. And he was a comedian on the radio. He used to have a one called Backchat or something on the radio on a Saturday, and it was satire on Charlie and all the rest of them, taking them off. It was great. Totally enjoyed it. Lord have mercy on him. He died young. He died in London, suddenly. In London. He was only in his early 40s, if I remember rightly. And he was a great joy to us all. I heard him one time at a function I was at. A friend invited me to a function in Kilmainham Castle, I think it was. Somewhere like that. Can't think of the name of the event, but he was the guest. And I think there was accountants that were on it. My friend was an accountant. He invited me to it. So he was up, and it was the funniest thing I heard in a long time. He just gifted. And he wasn't trying to be funny. It was just the way he imitated these people. He wasn't cracking jokes. Now, we take another jump to the 25th of May. Patrick McCabe. Oh, he was a great writer for Monaghan. His novel, Breakfast on Pluto, published. He did one, and that was on the radio. And it was black humour in some ways, but by goodness, we listened to that. Myself and my late wife, Lord have mercy. Yeah, we listened to it. It was very funny. It was, they were all growling at one another. I forget what they called it. Some of you would remember that was listening to the radio when they had good programs sometimes. Patrick McCabe. Can't think of the name of it. It was great. And then the 3rd of July, take another bit of a skip and a jump. There was a band formed, and guess who it was? A boy band, Westlife. And they made a nice few shillings of what they're at. You got more number ones you could throw a stick at. More than anyone, I think. 7 number ones in the BBC Top of the Pops. Yeah, they were formed. I think there was a lad that used to be on the panel or something, fellow from, I think it was Mayo. I can't think of his name either. Funny, isn't it? Bit crowded up here. And then another jump, the 28th of August. Maura Maeve Binchy. Now, she was a great writer and very humorous, a lovely person. Heard her on the radio, not the radio, saw her on the television a few times. Her novel, Tara Road, was published. There was always something applicable to this country when Maeve's books. Yeah, she was lovely. And then at the 30th of September 2008, TV3 was launched. Another station. Yeah, they don't do much. Let's hope the Christian TV Ireland gets going. There's something there to nourish the soul and give us all a bit of uplift. On the 7th of October 2008, Marina Cairns, I think, her drama by the Bog of Cats. I don't remember seeing any cats in bogs, but however, because I was in a bog, I used to have the father. He had got a bit of a bog, and we used to be in the summertime. We were young, and then he was cutting with the old style thing and throwing up. We were to catch it and foot it and spread it out. And there were good bits about that. So that's another story. In the Abbey, it was played in the Abbey, the National Theatre in Dublin. And the 24th of December, Christmas Eve, be the hopey, Gay Byrne's final radio program took place in Grafton Street. He used to be up there talking to people on the eve of Christmas and all the rest, but it was good. I used to find it interesting. All that sort of kind of good stories and what have you is gone. Don't hear that anymore. But that was good. And a fella called John Montague. Hello, Montague. How are you feeling out? Sounds like an English fella. He's the first occupant of the chair of poetry. Out, brief candle. Nice but a walking shadow. Poor player that thus and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. That's Shakespeare. Gary Hines, she was a lady director. She was the first woman director. She was from Galway to win a Tony Award for Best Director about the Beauty Queen of Lenan. That was a very popular one. I saw it on Broadway, but I wasn't that keen, to be honest with you. Brendan Grahan's novel, The Whitest Flower, was published. And the Terence Dolan, a dictionary of Hibernian English, the Irish, the use of the English was published. Yeah. That's the events. I'll do the sports then tomorrow, please God. Diddly-doy-doy, bye now. That's the last of that for the while. I might do another one up my sleeve there later tonight, this evening. I probably will. Bye now.